Hey folks, welcome back to Busy Girl Likes to Eat, in which I, Busy Girl, challenges internet recipes to a duel. If this is your first time joining us for Busy Girl Likes to Eat, I am just a busy person who likes to go to the internet and find new recipes that are a departure from what I normally cook, but sometimes they are challenging. So I test internet recipes to see if they can do three things. One, can they be made in an average kitchen with average kitchen tools? Because I'm not buying new tools for recipes. It's crazy. Two, can they be shortcut? Is there any of these pieces that they ask us to do that can just be shortcut a little bit to save on precious time? And three, will they be delicious? Because that's the point. You don't want to make something and you're just like, I spent all that time in the kitchen and it was just basic. So thank you for joining us today. We're gonna hop into a recipe. So today we are going to make healthy Cajun style charred okra and shrimp. So I'm making this for a couple reasons. Like one, I like seafood. Two, it's one of the ingredients it called for was okra. And so okra makes me happy. So my grandmother, she was from Oklahoma, and she used to make a lot of different foods. I'll slide this over here so you can see it. Hi, okra. And one of the things I remember her making was okra. And like the last time I actually had homemade okra, I was about 8 or 9 years old when she used to cook it. And so one of the regrets that I have is that I did not learn how to cook from her before she passed. And so the only time I've ever actually had okra is in restaurants. And so I was like, hey, this will be a good, cool way to kind of see if I can make okra. So for ingredients, we had, it says coconut or vegetable oil. I happen to have vegetable oil, I'm not buying coconut. Okra, we're gonna have to slice this. So depending on where you live, it may be difficult to find okra. Like if you're in the South where okra is prevalent, probably like easy to find. And it might be available in different parts of the city. Actually, really funny thing. So I was like hunting around trying to find okra. And one person I talked to at a store that typically has the most random food ever was like, we don't have okra. You typically can find them in Asian markets. And I was like, okra is like a thing? And even when I Googled it, I was like, where to buy okra? I got all these listings of Asian markets, so I didn't know, but okra is like a thing in Asian food. I didn't know, mostly because like I associate okra with black food because I am black. You didn't know, I know. Secret. Minced garlic, you guys know, I'm not mincing my own garlic. Oh fun, we're cooking with wine, guys. 3/4 of a cup of wine, we're cooking with wine. And just like a little reminder when recipes are like, hey, a dry white wine, it just means wine that's like not sweet. So like if it says white wine, don't use like a Moscato or, you know, Riesling or that type of thing. I love this recipe already, it's making me very excited because it says 3 to 4 sprigs of fresh thyme or a teaspoon of dried thyme leaves. Thank you, recipe. Thank you. 2 teaspoons of Cajun spice. So if you don't, this isn't like typically a spice that most people have, but if you're at your grocery store and you see Cajun spice, like definitely pick up Cajun spice. It's one of my favorite things to just like toss over anything. Toss it over chicken, toss it over rice, like whatever. It's one of my favorite things. It's got like that mix of flavor and like a little bit of a kick, but not like significant to like burn you. So I like Cajun spice. I'm glad we're using it. 3/4 of a cup of fish or chicken broth. We've had this conversation before about how a grocery store just doesn't have things in 3/4 of a cup. It doesn't have to be. Oh yes. I can definitely get this in a smaller size, but I can't get it in 3/4 of a cup. Okay. Now, the reason I bought this one, and this is a chicken broth instead of a fish broth, is I don't actually see myself reusing fish broth. I'm gonna reuse chicken broth. So what I'll end up doing with this is I'll pour like the 3/4 and then I'll just freeze the rest and then defrost it. Chicken broth defrosts actually pretty easily. This recipe claims to be prep for 10 minutes and cook for 10 minutes. We've talked about this before, friends. Halved lengthwise. This is a pound of okra. And you can't buy fresh okra already halved. But what you can do is buy already diced onions, which I did. Now mind you, what this tries to tell me to do with these onions is a medium sweet onions vertically sliced. Onions. Baby tomatoes. My cook time comes from actually washing everything and cutting it. Oh, and then there's also lemon and lemon juice. 1 lemon juice and zest. The first time I saw zest in a recipe, I think I was like 20 something, I was like, what is a lemon zest? It's the skin. It's the skin. It also doesn't say how much of the zest we're gonna use. We'll talk about it. I'm gonna do it, guys. I'm gonna set a timer here and figure out if this prep that claims to be 10 minutes and this cook that claims to be 10 minutes is actually that. I've never cooked okra. Like I said, last fresh okra was many years ago. So I don't know if you keep the tops on. Wash, blah, 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 use a sharp knife, cut off the stems. So, okay, it says cut off the stems. We're testing that. So I love like asking Google to tell me how in the world I'm supposed to cut something. Because that's how I learned to cut a mango. That's also how I learned that the skin of mango is super toxic. So yeah, I will never be afraid to ask Google to help me. All right, so it says to cut it lengthwise. I don't know the last time I sliced something lengthwise, but this is so easy. You know, I love things that are easy. If you're actually cooking okra for the first time, I think that there are some things that you should know that I just figured out, which is that okra like is slimy. And actually I knew okra was slimy because I've eaten it before. I've eaten it not fried and most times it's like fried, but I've eaten it in ways it's not fried, and when it's not fried you can like tell that it's slimy. But if you just happen to like see this recipe, like the picture, we're actually cooking this from the Beyond Mere Sustenance website, and you're like, hey, that picture looks good, I want to make it. Know that okra will feel a little slimy, and that's going to be weird because like other vegetables that you cook, if they're slimy, they've gone bad. So just want you to know, if you are like me and you see a picture and you're like, I'm just gonna buy the ingredients, and you might not know that much about the ingredients. At home, you probably aren't cooking at a counter where the floor is right there, but just in case you are, be very careful because they're slimy and they get away from you. In the name of saving some money, I didn't buy the tiny tub of tomatoes. I bought the 10 tomatoes that were on a vine. There's really no busy girl portion of that. It's just, I'm cheap. And they're tiny tomatoes, like who cares? And it said 9 ounces, it said 10 ounces, these are 9. Same thing. What we're gonna do is, I mean, this should be easy enough. This should just pop off the vine. There we go. All I gotta do is like make sure I don't like get the little toppy tops on there. But like they're like a little tree. Every busy girl episode has a food drop. And you know what I'm glad about is that it's just a moment when it's here, right? When we're prepping. I've never like dropped an entire like chicken on the floor. We'd have to stop shooting and it would be sad. See, floor tomato in the trash. I just want it to be clear. We drop food, we don't eat it. All right, gonna wash these guys. The recipe calls for lemon juice. It doesn't say how much lemon juice. So I'm just gonna go with, you need the juice of 1 lemon. I'll just take a lemon and just, since I don't own this juicer, slice it into 4s. Oh crap. The recipe calls for the zest of a lemon, which is like this part, and lemon juice, and I just did this. It just means it wants like pieces of the skin here. So what I just do for this is I just get a peeler. Cause you really, it's like, you're just kind of like using kind of the top layer. You're not using all of it. You're not using like the pithy stuff on the inside. I don't really know why. A lot of recipes are like zest of a lemon. I don't know why. Cause it's always like zest of a lemon, like, and lemon juice. I don't know why. So we're gonna get started cooking. Also, just a quick check-in. So that prep time was actually 12 minutes and 2 seconds. So maybe they were counting the cutting. Most recipes don't, and it drives me batty. I don't own a cast iron skillet. I used to. Here's the thing about cast iron skillets, right? You have to do all this stuff with them. Like you have to season them before you use them, and then after you use them, it's like you have to like put oil on the top and then oil after you're done, and it's like, it's maddening. And then when you forget to do it, it gets rusty and then it's basically useless. I'm not saying that there's not value to cast iron skillets. But when I eat food out of cast iron skillet from other people's houses, great. In my house, I just don't, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing the whole seasoning process. It's like it's something to prep it or something, I don't know. And then I end up like throwing it out because I could never get the rust off. So we are going to use my handy dandy nonstick pan. I'm using, this is a saute pan. I'm using it because it has high walls, and I figure all this stuff is gonna go in here. So if I had like a regular skillet, it'd probably fly off. And as you know, I tend to drop food, and I hate dropping food that's cooked, and I really want to eat that shrimp. So if I drop it, I'm gonna be sad. If this is gonna be scorching hot, the oil is gonna pop. Okay, so what that probably means is that the oil is gonna pop, it's gonna burn me, it's gonna hurt, but it's also gonna get oil all over my shirt. So while this oil is getting scorching hot, I'm gonna change shirts, guys. I'm letting it smoke because it says when it's scorching hot. This looks smoke means scorching hot. I changed shirts because I'm so sure I'm gonna get popped right now. And I don't know if there's actually a way to avoid getting popped when you cook them with oil. I was so concerned about like preserving the shirt that I like that I forgot to. Did you hear that? Like I don't know what got in there. All right, let's see. Make sure the oil is spread across the bottom. Oh God, I'm so not excited about this right now. This is why I don't actually generally fry food, because like oil. Okay, let's move my tablet just in case.
Do you have a fire extinguisher? No. You don't have one?
All right. It says charred okra. This is what charred okra sounds like, I guess. All right, let's see. Okay, so it says do not stir until you see the edges charring, but I feel like it kind of started to change colors as I put it in there. So I'm gonna stir, maybe? I'll stir only enough to turn the okra. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it. When you had a good amount of charring and the okra has lost its slime. Okay, so this should take about 3 minutes. Okay, thank you recipe to tell me how long it takes. I stopped counting the time because I got scared. So I feel like char is just another way to say burnt. So we're just gonna do this until I don't see slime anymore. But it's also not as scary anymore. Also, heads up, the oil does cook away, so you don't need to add more oil. I used to do it all the time, like oil will cook away. I'm like, I need to add more oil. Don't do it. You burn yourself, and it's also not necessary. I'm looking for like, when do we add the wine? Because like that whole experience just now like freaked me out, guys. It did. This is why I don't fry chicken. I know, judge me. But like, I don't fry chicken because of the oil. Not because I don't like fried chicken. I think it's delicious. It does have some nice color. It looks charred. I'm gonna say the difference between charred and burnt is that it still has some of its original color. My house is filling with smoke. I'm gonna disconnect my smoke detector in a minute. We had to break for a second because my smoke detector went off. So maybe just consider disconnecting your smoke detector while you're doing this, because you're charring it / burning. So, and there's lots of smoke. I'm like a little anxiety ridden right now because we have to do it again. So the instructions tell you like after you char the okra, put it in a bowl. So it's back in the bowl I originally used, because why would I use multiple bowls? Yeah, this is add the tomato to the hot skillet, adding more oil if necessary. So while in the midst of like desiring my smoke detector and putting this in the bowl, I turned everything off. So, okay, I'm good. I'm good. I believe this is still hot. Until they begin to char and burst. Okay. I don't really know how long I'm supposed to cook these. This one doesn't have an instruction. I'm just looking at them. My hair is probably getting so large because of the humidity in here. All right, so these are pretty charred. Some of them are bursting. It's good enough for me. Eyes are stinging from the smoke. Maybe get if you don't already have one in your kitchen, just a fire extinguisher. Nothing's caught on fire yet, but it's just smoky. And now I want one, but now it's just the onions that we don't have to char to a crisp. I'm starting to question why we couldn't put all the vegetables in the pan, honestly, but it's fine. I don't really know the conversions on pre-cut onion. It says 1 small medium onion. I'm gonna presume that's like a ½ cup of onion. I'm just gonna cook these until the color changes, really. So in spite of all of the smoke that I've been engulfed in, it smells delicious. So I'm pretty excited to eat it. It's almost, enough to forgive the recipe for the smoke. This process feels like it should take 2 minutes, but it takes like about 5 to 10 because onions. That's why actually half the time my onions aren't because I'm like, this should have taken 2 minutes. Alright, so like I said, I just wanted the onions to just change color a little bit. So they've changed color. That's sufficient. So what I bought were shrimp that were deveined, peeled, even the tails are off of them. I'm so so excited because I can just put it in here. All right, so I'm gonna pop this in here. Woo! Okay, so what I'm gonna do, if you buy something frozen, is maybe pour the liquid off before you put it in the pan. Learned that just now. What it also doesn't say is like what temperature to set the heat to on this. I'm just gonna set it to low. Shrimp tends to cook really fast. I'm gonna turn the heat up just a little bit here. I think I might be being a little bit too conservative after the incident. All right, so we're gonna remove the shrimp from the pan. It smells so good. It's, oh, I like this website from the Reluctant Gourmet. Deglazing is a fancy word that means pour some cold liquid in the very hot pan to get all the brown bits that are stuck in the bottom of the pan. Well, then why can't we just use cold water? Like, why do I have to use precious wine? Turns out, because when you do that, it ends up becoming kind of the sauce, and then the wine gets to stay in the sauce. I was like thinking about, I was like, when's the wine coming? I'm burning to death. When's the wine coming? My house is full of smoke. When's the wine coming? The wine is here. Okay. Broth. Lemon juice. Lemon zest. Which is kind of making me wish I had grated it, but oh well, it's fine. Busy girl never has enough time until right now. I'm gonna let this simmer for about 5 minutes and then re-add everything to the pan, and then we're gonna get to eating. Alrighty, and so now we have a completed meal. I'm so excited about this because it smells so good. I feel like it's hot. I totally dig it. It's just so good. Like all of like the flavors of like the okra complements like the shrimp super great, and then like the tomato. I was worried that the okra wasn't charred enough, so this makes sense. Like why you have to char it is because it gives it that like yummy crunch that like offsets really lovely against that like super soft tomato. And then like make sure you don't overcook your shrimp because it makes that like that consistency in between like super good. The only thing that like I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna add more Cajun spice because I love Cajun spice, just to get a little bit like more of that like in there. So like be very generous with the Cajun spice. Like at least I would anyway, or just taste it, do what you want to do. It's super fine, but very glad. So let's put this on the Busy Girl rating scale. 3 things. Can this be made in an average apartment kitchen? Yes, because I made this like with my average regular pan. Do not feel like I'm missing or losing anything from not having a cast iron skillet. So yay, that makes me happy. 2, can it be shortcut at all? I feel like maybe you could have put the okra and the tomato in the same pan versus like putting it in, taking it out, because like I stopped counting after, I stopped checking the time after we were playing with oil, guys. Sorry about that. But like the fact that you're like putting the okra in and you're taking it out, and you're putting the tomato in and you're taking it out, and you're making the shrimp and then you're taking it out. It's like a whole thing. Do watch out though, because there was one thing in the recipe where I couldn't find where it said to put the garlic back in there. And when it was simmering, I was like, why is the garlic still over there? I was like, I haven't put the garlic in. I think it's what they meant when they said spices. So this is actually one benefit of and why I pre-prep everything, is that if there's something sitting on my counter that I haven't used, I'm like, I'm supposed to use you for something. It just works as a reminder, a visual reminder. Unless your memory's better than mine, then more power to you. And 3, is it delicious? Yes, it's super good. It's so delicious. It's very like nice, yummy, complex flavors. So I am very pleased. If you want to check out this recipe and try it for yourself, it is in the link in the description. You have, any questions, any comments, feel free to reach out to me on social media. I am Busy Girl LTE on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And on that, guys, have a great day.